I returned from my hiatus, I've been slowly learning the new cards and revisiting the decks that I played before or wanted to but never had the support to do it. Today, it's Red Eyes, and besides showcasing a couple of combos that I've already featured on the channel before, kind of righting my wrongs here because the last time I did them, I messed up. As I said, I am coming back from a hiatus, and the topic of today is just how close we are to the potential reality of a tiered Red Eyes deck. First way that we could potentially get there is through the Dragon Tail cards. We got a new hand trap, and I'm not going to pronounce the name of this or even try to, but during the main phase, quick effect, you can discard this card, fusion summon one dragon or spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon, you can set one Dragon Tail spell trap from your deck. You can only use each effect of this Dragon Tail once per turn. Now, I won't be setting the spell trap in this combo. The idea here is, if we are to get new Red Eyes and even new Dark Magician cards, which seems to be more likely as more cards get revealed for them, then we might see a potential Dragoon hand trap that could just bring out an untargetable, undestructible 3000 beat stick that can give you an Omni Negate, though it does take a bit of card economy, and you do have to see the Dragon, you have to see the Dark Magician, which is where I say this play doesn't become relevant until we have a good way to search Dark Magician, but I just want to put it out there that if these archetypes get better, this could be a very real thing. Now, for the second combo, we just have the Black Metal Dragon, and as I said earlier, just righting my wrongs here as we're going to go into the Blue Eyes link, use the effect of the Black Metal as we'll get ourselves the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and now we can banish the Blue Eyes link as we'll use the Darkness Metal to revive the Black Metal, go into our spheres, use the effect of Black Metal, get ourselves the Full Metal, and now from here we can use the effect of Full Metal in order to get ourselves the Max Metalmorph. Now, if you didn't see my Dragon Ruler Metalmorph combo, then you'll see it on the next combo that I show here, but the really cool thing about this is that spheres for a long time in Dragons has kind of been a choke point. I'd argue less right now with Blue Eyes. We do have the Max Metalmorph, which is a pretty big choke point for the Metalmorph deck, and being able to pair the spheres and the Max Metalmorph, which are both notorious for being Ash bait, just makes your opponent have to choose. Though I would like to point out that there is that Dominus card, so if you are unlucky, you could get hit by both. Now, before I start this third combo, starting with the Dragon Ruler, I do want to go over Red Eyes Soul, and I believe if the Red Eyes deck becomes good, it's going to start with a card like this. It reads, this card's name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, meaning it is a hand trap. Special summon one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck, except Red Eyes Soul. So if we get a really good target for this that can maybe disrupt your opponent, it would become an instant staple in the Red Eyes deck, and I'd argue it still even is, though it's just not as good because we don't have a great target for it. But I just want to put this on the map because the closer that we get to a complete Red Eyes deck, the more Konami keeps on releasing these cards, whether it be Metalmorph or Red Eyes, the more chance of success this card has. Now, quick effect, you can target one Red Eyes Black Dragon you control, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, and this can be like a barbar for game situation, or this can even be used for time, whether you're on a simulator that relies on time or actually playing in a tournament. And you can only use this effect of Red Eye Soul once per duel. So we're going to continue here by using the Spectre, pitching the Soul. We won't be using the Soul in this combo, of course, as we're just going to use the Dragon Rulers in order to bridge into our Black Metal Dragon, as you'll see momentarily. Again, if you didn't see my previous video, the Dragon Ruler Metalmorph video, I'll leave a link down below if you want to see a more detailed look at that one so that you can see the list for yourself and everything. So we're going to use the effect of the burner to get the blaster, then use the blaster in the graveyard in order to special summon itself, and now we have access into the Chasmatus, can then send the Tempest, copying its effect, which allows you to search any dragon. So keep in mind, it doesn't have to be the Black Metal Dragon. If there's another good normal summon for dragons that you want to use, whether it be in Blue Eyes or whatever, looking at Barrel, it becomes an option. Now we'll continue here by normal summoning the Black Metal, going into our Blue Eyes link, use the effect of the Blue Eyes link so that we can get ourselves the copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal, banish the Blue Eyes link, as we'll then be able to use the effect of the Red Eyes Darkness Metal to bring back the Black Metal, go into our spheres, much like the last combo where we just had the Black Metal Dragon. Now we have access into our full Full Metal Dragon to get ourselves the Max Metalmorph. We can then get ourselves the Tempest back on board so that we can link away into an IP Masquerena for the extra disruption, then use the effect of the Full Metal Dragon for that Max Metalmorph, and with this we would be able to pass to our opponent, assuming these were the only two cards that we could combo with. Now, if you want to see a deck list with the Dragon Ruler cards, I will be leaving those down below. You'll also notice that there's two spots missing here in the extra deck. They could either be super poly targets. I'm unsure of what I want to do with this slot yet. There's also the Dragon Tail stuff which you can play. I'm just going to take this out right here to pretty much tell you you can do whatever you want with this. I'm bringing you this video because really the majority of it is done. There are some really cool concepts here that I would like to point out. Now, this is like a Magician's Souls, where you can just send a Red Eyes or a level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard and special summon this. Then it increases its level by 1, making it level 7, which allows you to go into your rank 7s and stuff. And you'll see that I'm on Draco Sack over any other. The reason being is that going first, you can summon 2 tokens, go into IP, and then have the body for IP, and then going second, you do get that pop. So I feel like it's the best rank 7 that you can go into right now. And then of course Red Eyes Flare Metal to help you with OTKs or just push for damage, because there is a lot of damage that you can either just burn through or really just accumulate damage from attacks with big beat sticks. Now, something you'll notice here is the Psalms of Kings, and this is going to be a really good card for the deck because, as you'll see here, we have the ability to play 12 trap cards, and 12 trap cards that 9 of them are hand trap, which plays more around talent so that you don't get punished by that. And then pairing that with the ability to play hand traps that for the most part are almost like engine, whether it be Charmies that are drawing you into cards, the Bestial Magna Hut can search you any dragon, which can be your black metal dragon, and then you have the Red Eyes Soul, which again can summon this or this, which isn't really great right now, but as mentioned, if we do get a target, I forgot to say we could also summon this, and we could summon this, but you'll see that I am not playing the Claw. I'm not playing the Claw because I just don't feel that we have the right cards to really make this thing shine yet. The problem with it is that the minute that you commit to setting something on board, if that card is taken out, then it means that you just can't use it if you don't have another card that you can set. But then the other problem comes with, let's say that you resolve the effect to special summon it, and then once you special summon it, it gets ashed, hit by Imperm, hit by the Dominus card that stops from searching, or anything of that nature. Then that means that you've essentially summoned a vanilla monster onto the field, took out one of your own cards, and unless you have something else in your hand, your opponent was able to successfully trade a 1-for-2 with you, or at least almost like a 1-for-2, because most of the times if you don't have that second monster in order to continue playing with the Claw, then it just means that you're passing on that Claw, and your opponent is going to be able to have their way with that. So that's why in this particular deck list, I don't feel that Claw is good to play just yet. We still need more cards in order to really make the thing work, which I felt was very important to mention in this video. You'll also see that there's 1-for-1, which is something else that you can play if you would like to. I'm playing the Red Eyes Fusion because since the best target for the soul that we have right now is the Meteor, actually gives you the ability to search the Red Eyes Fusion from your deck to your hand as long as it wasn't sent to the graveyard the turn you tried to activate the effect. Which again, it's slow, but just the ability to pop out a Dragoon from nowhere on your opponent, if you're lucky enough to last beyond maybe turn 2, turn 3, is still at least pretty decent. Then I also would like to talk about the Darkness Metal, and this is here because there is actually a OTK line that you can do with this, where if you go into your link plays and get to the IP Masquerena, it means that you can potentially use this, revive the Darkness Metal, and then the Darkness Metal can get you back one of your 2400 beat sticks. Red Eyes Black Dragon really is the only 2400 beat stick right now. I forgot that I ended up taking out the Claw. It still stands that you can get 28, 28, 24, which is exactly 8000 damage in order to OTK your opponent. So if you're wondering why that's here, it's because there is an OTK line with it that you can do in this deck for when you're going second. Now, you'll also notice that I'm only playing one of the Charmy cards. This is something that if you don't want to play the Super Poly along with the Garura Mud Dragon or whatever you end up playing. You can put in one of the Charmies, but because we're playing a deck that's a little bit weaker right now, or at least seeing this version of it, I feel like it's better to have impact cards that actually stop your opponent from doing things so that you can potentially get an Omni Negate along with some follow up and maybe even a Spheres and try to overwhelm your opponent like that. Now, unfortunately, I can't speak for the future of the type of cards that we get from Konami, but before I would wrap up the video, I would like to mention this is on the side of things I kind of would like to see moving forward for this deck, just because the ability to play traps, we have, I think it's 21, 7, and 9 here. I remember when I was little watching Yugi explain to Joey how you had to have a balance of monsters, spell, and traps in order to properly build a deck, and seeing something like this is just really cool in 2025. But anyways, I don't really have much else to say about this, so I'm going to get onto the card by card, and we have the 3 copies of Black Metal, the 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, the 3 copies of Approaching Machine, the 3 Max Metalmorph, the 1 Talent, the 1 Darkness, the 1 Dark Magician, the 1 Red Eyes, the 3 copies of Full Metal. I just felt Full Metal is also better than Claw, because once you reveal it, you get the Metal Morph. There is no sending in order to special summon and then add. No, it's just reveal, and if your opponent ashes, they lose a card, you keep the Red Eyes Full Metal in your hand, and that's that. I just feel it's the all-around better card to play in this deck. We then have the 3 copies of the Red Eyes Meteor, the 3 copies of the Dominus, the 3 copies of the Imperm, 3 copies of the Army, Magna Hut, the 1 Lewis Worm, and the 1 Baldrake, and then the 3 copies of Soul. Whatever you choose to end up playing for these last 3 slots is entirely up to you right now. I've also been looking at Fenrir just because it's a level 7, and if you want to increase this deck and go to 60, or just a little bit higher to maybe see less bricks, then you can do that and then play something like Fenrir along with a couple of other engine cards, but just kind of throwing ideas out there. Then there is the access code, the Darkness, the Unicorn, the copy of SP and IP, the 2 copies of Spheres, which is your main link to in this deck. We then have the 1 Spirit, the 1 copy of Striker Dragon, which I also would like to mention. If you want to chain block the Black Metal Dragon when you do the combo, you can play one of the field spells. And we have the copy of Dragoon. We have the copy of Meteor Black Comet Dragon, which is a second target for the Red Eyes Fusion. I just didn't want to play another Dark Magician, and I felt potentially burn your opponent for damage in this way was at least decent enough. And then we have the Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon alongside the Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack to round out the deck profile. But anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or want to see any deck, feel free to leave them down below. I'll try to do my best to see what I can cook up with it. But I hope you guys enjoy your Memorial Day if you do celebrate it, and have a great one.